Hello and welcome to a special edition live version of Terrific Tips for Business. Today, I am your host and your guest. That doesn't happen very often here at the Terrific Tips for Business podcast. And it's a great opportunity for me to share a little bit about the podcast with all of you, my fans and my listeners. So thank you for taking the time to tune in, whether you're tuning in live on Facebook, live on YouTube, or you're listening to this after the fact on our syndicated podcast network. I appreciate each and every one of you being here with me today. So those of you that don't know me, I'm Terri. I'm your chief idea catcher over at SpinFrogs. We are a forensic marketing firm focused on supporting small business owners so that they can avoid the pitfalls in marketing, allowing them to maximize their marketing budget and the impact they want to have on the world. And one of the tips that I want to give you today is related to boosting your brand for free and doing it to promote and boost profits in your business. Who doesn't want more profits in their business? I think we all do. We want profits in our business, right? So that's why I'm here today. I've got 3 steps I'm going to share with you today, and then a special offer just for you. So, the first step to helping you boost your brand for profitability is figuring out what matters to your client about your industry. One of the tips that I talk about when I'm on other people's podcast is how do we figure out what our clients need to know about us and our industry that is unique that other people are not talking about. I actually just shared this tip this morning with another podcast host, and that's going to be out on her show. And I'm going to share it here with you as well. The tip is if you're a dentist, for example, they all use an autoclave machine to clean out the tools to make sure they're sanitized between patients. But we don't ever hear about dentists talking about this. So the dentist that talks about it and explains the difference between this machine versus another machine, allowing for the sanitation practice of the business, gives not just credibility that that dentist knows what they're talking about, but it also gives an air of concern and support for their clients. I don't know about you, but I want to go to that dentist. I want to go to the person who's telling me all of the steps they're taking to keep me and my family safe. So, what about you for your industry? Is there something that you do in your industry that's an industry wide thing, but that nobody talks about? I'll give you another example of this. In the TV show Mad Men, Don Draper did this with the tobacco industry. He had a tobacco client, and he told the tobacco client that why don't we just pitch that you roast your tobacco before you roll it? And the client said, yeah, but they all roast their tobacco. And Don said, that might be true, but none of them are talking about it. So it's going to make your business sound like a premium. Don't you want your business to sound like a premium? Talk about the things in your industry that nobody else is talking about. It might be an industry standard, so you might think that it's silly to talk about it, but because you spoke about it and nobody else is, that's going to give you the credibility boost that you need to get in front of your clients. Okay. Another way that you can figure out what your clients need to know about your industry is tapping into some public forums. There's a couple of public forums that I highly recommend. One is Quora. That's Quora. Quora is a community where people can post questions and get answers. It's not anonymous, so the questions that they're asking might be a little vague. They might be beating around the bush for it, but it'll give you an idea of what's on their mind. And if you can create the content to answer that question, you become an authority on that topic. Now, do you have to answer that question inside of the Quora community? No. You can answer that question in a video like we're doing right now, or you could even do it in a blog post on your website. Whatever is more comfortable and easy for you and your team to accomplish, because everybody is different. It also matters Who is your customer? So you want to keep who your customer is in mind when you start asking what do they need to know about your industry, because your customer might not be on Quora. They might actually be hanging out on Reddit. Reddit is Reddit. This is an anonymous platform that is similar to Quora that allows people to ask anonymous questions. That means they're a little bit more vulnerable because they're not having to put their face on the question. They're able to ask that really blatant, really scary, very weird sometimes questions, and they're able to get honest answers because it's not associated with a person. And we find this to be a really awesome way to get information about what our clients want. Again, have to keep in mind who your target customer is. If they're not hanging out in these places, then these might not be the best solutions for you. But it's an idea to get you started. If you want more tips on how to figure out what your customers need to know about your industry, that's one thing that we actually cover inside of our Propel Your Profits program. And our Propel Your Profits program is on sale right now for the last time at $499. So if you want more information, I'll drop the link in the description so you can go check that out. Okay, step number 2 for boosting your brand's profits. Share why you care. Why do you care about the people that you're trying to support? When we create content that proves that we care, people will care what we share. That's the key. At the end of the day, we can do clickbait articles all day long. We can do catchy little titles that stop people in their tracks and get them to pay attention to what we have to say. But if we're not showing them why we care and we're just trying to sell them something, they're not going to care about what we share. So, why does SpinFrogs exist? Why do I do what I do? I care about our small business community because it's more than just me having access to goods and services that these amazing, brilliant, talented business owners have to create. It's also because our small business sector makes up 50% of our annual gross domestic product on a national scale. But 90% of our small business sector fails inside of the first 10 years. They go out of business. So I look at this and say, well, if 90% of them are failing inside of 10 years, and we're still having a 50% impact on our national gross domestic product annually, what would happen if we decreased that failure rate? If we made more products and services available to small businesses earlier so that they didn't have to feel like they were in business alone, so that they didn't have to do it alone, they had resources and people that they could lean into, would that decrease our failure rate for our small business sector? Maybe. That's one reason why SpinFrogs exists. Because if I can support one small business owner, it's not just that small business owner that wins, it's the entire community that wins. And it's the entire nation that wins when that small business owner wins. So that's why I do what I do. Why do you? Why do you do what you do for the people that you do it for? A great book to help you figure out your why is the book Start With Why by Simon Sinek. And you can even attend his Start With Why conferences that he does for free. They're like 2.5 hours worth of time, but they're free, or maybe they're $10. I don't remember what I paid for it, if I paid anything, but it was a very valuable 2 hours, 3 hours of my time. I'm still in touch with the person who we built my why with because it was such an amazing connection through story. And this is what brings people together. Story brings people together, and having something that's bigger than I want to take care of my family. While that might be a financial reason for doing business, at the end of the day, it doesn't motivate anybody to come walk with you, next to you, behind you, rally for you, pass referrals to you, and cheerlead you on every step of the way because they're trying to do the same thing for their family. So at the end of the day, why not make it bigger than that? Why not get a little deeper with why you care? For me, I want that small business owner to win because I still want access to their products and services personally. I also want them to win because I want to see that difference on our national gross domestic product number. I want us to see the difference on a national level when we small business owners take over because we're worth it. We have the ideas, we have the resources. We just need to be more resourceful. And that's what SpinFrogs is here for. So get into why you care. Because when you care and you share why you care, people are going to care what you share. Okay. Number 3, be newsworthy. If you notice, all of the big brands in America are newsworthy all the time. They're talking about promotions, they're talking about people retiring, they're talking about new products that they've brought out, they're talking about new services all the time, they're talking about some charitable cause or event that they've gotten involved with. They're always featured in the news, they're always in the media. How are they doing that? It's not just because they have a team of people who are writing up these press releases and submitting it to all of these media stations. No, it's because they recognize everything they do in their business can be newsworthy if they make it so. They're taking the time to make it so. We small business owners fail to do this regularly. And when we fail to do this, we miss out on free publicity. Who doesn't want free publicity? I want free publicity. So do you, because free publicity means you don't have to spend your marketing or advertising budget to get the exposure. So be newsworthy. One useful tool that I have found for being newsworthy is reading the book Culture of Good by Ryan Goldsmith and Scott McCarthy. I'm sorry, Scott McCarty. The Culture of Good by Ryan Goldsmith and Scott McCarty. This talks about a for profit organization finding a cause and getting their entire organization to rally behind the cause. And then it created a snowball effect of positive community involvement with their organization. And guess what? You can do that too. And here's the best part, there are media groups that you could buy a list of media contacts. Some of them range like $399 to $999 to distribute that press release for you. But if you hire an intern for the summer and it's coming up, you could just have them pull the list of the local media, magazines, newspapers, radio, TV, podcasts, pull a list. The editor's information is on their website. You don't have to pay for that information. It's available to you for free. So you can get this free publicity talking about how incredible you are. Because here's the truth, the God's honest truth. You're incredible and we need you. So be newsworthy. Do something because you are spectacular and the community needs you. So I know right now you're saying, this is all great, Terri. Wonderful ideas. I love these 3 steps. They're simple, they're easy to understand, but how? How do I do all of this? And when? When does it make sense for me to implement these ideas? That's what we cover inside of Propel. So if you haven't heard of Propel, Propel is my 12-week program. It's an hour and a half each week. And the whole point of it is small groups. I want you to form strategic relationships with the people in the room. And I intentionally and deliberately put the people in the rooms that I put in the rooms so that you can have at least one strategic partner in that space. Because what I have found is when you have a strategic partner, 2 things happen. You have an accountability partner, so you're going to show up for them every week. Even if you're not willing to show up for yourself, you'll show up for somebody else. We all do it. It's part of human nature. And 2, when we have a strategic partner, everything that we do in the program together strengthens our relationship, and that relationship is going to outlast the program itself. And that's where your revenue is going to come from, is that really strong strategic relationship. You're going to have an amazing referral partner to walk through the program with you. The thing that I guarantee, though, is that at the end of 12 weeks, when you are consistently showing up and you're consistently doing the empowered action plan that we have at the end of each session, you will have 12 months worth of your marketing strategic plan figured out. At the end of the day, we have to stop asking ourselves, what do I need to show up into social media to say today? And we need to start asking ourselves, do I even need social media to begin with? And Propel answers that question. Propel guides you through, where should you be? When should you be there? And what the hell are you going to talk about once you're there? So that you don't have to try and figure it out every day. You figure it out once. And then you have the tools and the resources to hold your team accountable to make sure that what needs to get done is getting done so that you can propel your profits. It's on sale right now. Sales end March 31st, so you've got a couple of weeks left. It's on sale right now for only $499. This program does include private guest speakers that only you and my Elite Propel team are going to have access to. These are experts in industry like TikTok and Instagram, email marketing, the mindset. These are experts in communication. We have amazing guest speakers that come in because it's not a tool without a strategy is nothing more than a paperweight. And a strategy without a tool is nothing more than a paperweight. We have to have both in order for it to be effective. So these people come in and they talk about the tools. So you know how to use LinkedIn. So you know how to use TikTok. And now that you know how to use those tools and you know if those tools make sense for you, now you have a program, you have a system and a way that you can show up and be your best self without stressing out. Isn't that easier? It takes time, yes, but it takes time one time. And once you get it figured out, the person who's networking with you or who's following you on social media, they're not going to remember that you posted that meme last year at this time. Shoot, you're lucky if they remember that you posted it last month at this time. So you're able to take the material you create this time, you can reuse it. You might need to edit it and modify it, but you can reuse it. So it's not just 1 year worth of marketing, it's many years worth of marketing that you're going to get in just 12 weeks. So go click the link right now, spinfrogs.com. It's under training and it's the Propel program. It's actually even right at the top of the homepage. Click on it, read all about it, read the testimonials of the people who've been in it, because I know that it is having a massive financial impact for these organizations, and it can have that for you as well. Look, we only have like 10 spots left for our Thursday group. We have Thursday lunchtime at noon, and we have Thursday 6 p.m. These are both Eastern time zones. And if you want in, I would love to have you. I'm Terri Watkins, your chief idea catcher over at SpinFrogs. Let me help you catch the ideas that stick. Until next time, everybody, have a fantastic day.